Beloved God, I thank you for this week, this time of Advent. We thank you for the character of Scrooge, who, if we look at his story, oh God, we can see some of ourselves in just a bit of it. Amen. This week, our story of Scrooge, taken out of A Christmas Carol, once again we see the bitter, lonely old man. He continues on, but this time he's visited from the ghost of Christmas past. And we get a glimpse of how Scrooge used to be before he became a bitter, lonely old man. Now, Scrooge has always been bitter and exasperated at the people that have gathered around him. But as his story unfolds, we find out that this was not always so with him. The ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge on a journey to his hometown, and immediately we see that Scrooge is filled with joy, and yet a single lonely tear falls down his cheek. The memory of what he saw was perhaps so overwhelming, and maybe it moved him so much, maybe it brought up past hurts, we do not know, but perhaps some of you have long ago memories that overwhelm you at times. Maybe you have a memory that brings you sadness, and when you think about it, it brings you to tears. When you think back to a certain time or to an event in your own life, does it stir up deep emotions within you? I know Christmas brings up many emotions for all of us. For some people, this time of the year can be difficult as we remember Christmas past and the people that we shared it with who are no longer here with us. We grieve over past Christmases, and yet we know that God has given us the gift of Jesus so that our brokenness would be redeemed, our faults would not define us, and our sadness would not be the end of our story. Following Jesus teaches us that we honor our pain and suffering, not by holding on to it, but by sharing it and carrying it with each other. And I think that's so important, that we don't hold on to our sorrow and our past. When you're driving ahead, which way are you looking? Are you looking in the rearview mirror, or are you looking through the windshield out of the road ahead? And too many people, I think, get stuck looking in that rearview mirror. They get stuck in their past and they're not able to move forward. They wrap it like a coat around them and hold on to it. And slowly it begins to define who they are as a person. We all have at some time or another in our lives suffered loss or experienced a painful event. Hopefully we've learned that we don't have to stay stuck in that pain. It is just a part of the journey of life that we are all on. When we share with others who are hurting, we can share with them the part of our story, which includes our painful parts, but also the parts of our story in which the love of God carried us through, and we were once able again to experience pure joy. Too often our story seems to stay stuck on those past painful years, and we forget those joyful parts of our story. Now, when the ghost of Christmas past shows up, Scrooge, his former self, realizes how lonely he was as a child. His friends did not include him on sleigh rides. His family was distant, and his own imagination was his only companion as a young boy. Instead of being filled with blame or anger against those who created his loneliness, suddenly, in the present day, Scrooge is moved to compassion. When the ghost asks Scrooge what is wrong, Scrooge just says, "Nothing." And then he goes on to say, "There was a boy singing at my door last night, and I would like to have given him something. That is all." Instead of being a bah humbug, Scrooge is sad that he missed an opportunity to perhaps make a difference in the life of another. Instead of anger over his tragic childhood, he is convicted toward ensuring that others will have a different experience. Scrooge is slowly beginning to build an intimate relationship with himself, or at least the person that he used to be before he lost himself in the pursuit of wealth. The ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge on a journey through his memories. Now we can do that today. We don't have to have a ghost appear to us, though some may, by going through a photo album, a scrapbook, or Facebook, or Pinterest. I know some people do a lot of pins on Pinterest. Sometimes we remember pictures and we are filled with joy and laughter. Other times we see pictures and it reminds us of times that were struggle and painful. As Scrooge traveled through his memories, his former love, a woman named Belle, came into focus. Scrooge was filled with pain at the memory of his last meeting with Belle. He never regained her love for him again, but when the ghost of Christmas past takes him back to his memory, Scrooge was moved to compassion toward people who also had experienced the pain of brokenness and loneliness. Perhaps today you know heartache. Perhaps today you're struggling with some painful memories. Perhaps God is calling you to use your past for something in the future. I believe that God can transform those past painful memories into future blessings for you and for others. Christmas is that time of the year, a sign to all of us that the light of Christ still shines in our world and in each of us. His light can take a disappointing past experience and transform it into something that brings God's love to us and to those around us. That our past does not define who we are. As followers of Jesus, our hope for humanity can transform our personal sadness into conviction and action on behalf of others. Will we choose just to sit and look at the candle of our lives that got snuffed out by someone or something that took away our power and our hope? Or this Advent season, will we light it again under our own power, reignited by the love of God for us? The miracle has just begun in you. God bless us, everyone. Will you pray with me, please? There's a little Scrooge in each of us, holding on to the fear and despair we've experienced in our lives. This week, I pray that you may be visited by a surprising hope that may invite you to let go of those things of your past that no longer serve you. And when you feel it, even if just for a fleeting moment, know the miracle has just begun in you for the sake of our whole world. May you be blessed by our God who loves you deeply, by Jesus, the true gift of God to each of us this season and in all our days, and the Spirit who always shows up just in time. Amen.
Amen.